pieces. Tonight's performance is an excellent example of the variety of percussion instruments and varying styles of percussion compositions. We will have everything from soloists to quartets to large ensembles, featuring both contemporary percussion literature to classical music to world music with tonight's performance. Things are not always what they seem. Our first piece of the evening, Disguised, composed by Cliff Walker, is a study in manipulating the listener's perception of where meter and time fall, while also an exercise in masking the convention sounds, common percussion instruments to create new colors. For example, downbeats disguised as upbeats, crotales as a triangle, timpani as a field drum, vibraphones as crotales, snare drum as a cymbal, xylophone as claves, marimbas as electronic samples, and so on. So at this time, please help me welcome to the stage the BHS Percussion Ensemble under the direction of Mr. Chris Ryles. This semester, we added 3 new members to our ensemble. All 3 of these students have had only one class that they need in order to graduate, so they're taking 3 band classes out of 4. These 3 gentlemen have made the District Honor Band, the South Georgia Region Honor Band on their primary wind instruments, and a couple have even made these groups on a secondary wind instrument as well. In their primary band class, they are playing their primary wind instrument. In the second band class, they're on a secondary wind instrument. And of course, in the percussion ensemble class, they're being trained in the world of percussion. Mr. Ryles thought it would be cool and a fun way to play a quartet with these 3 non-percussionists who are all continuing their music careers at the next level. They will be performing a piece called Sand by Alan Cowan. Sand is written in a minimalist style, relying on the players to maintain a good internal pulse and place their sparse notes exactly in time. The muffling of many of the notes is meant to create a small pitch bend type effect by grasping the bar. There are times when the bars are allowed to ring, which will be a stark contrast to the muffled notes. Players 1 and 2 will stand behind the lower manual of the marimba, the white keys, and players 3 and 4 will stand behind the upper manual, the black keys. Each pair of players will share a set of bongos. The result of the sparse parts become a cohesive melody interspersed with the percussive color of bongos to weave a composite whole. We hope that you enjoy Sand, performed by our Director of Percussion, Mr. Chris Ryles, and our 3 non-percussion percussionists, Elliot Callender, Matt Mahan, and Jaquan Moore. I can tell you that even though the individual parts in that last piece seem simple, to have 4 people play precisely in time as one person is extremely difficult to do, and I think they did an outstanding job. So one more round of applause for Sand. As we have had at every one of our Evening of Percussion concerts, we have special guests performing with us. All of the Oak Hill Middle School percussion students will be performing again with us tonight at some point throughout the evening. The first middle school ensemble performing with us this evening will be the percussionists from our 6A band class. This class is just half of our 6th grade percussionists and one of our 7th grade Sage students. You'll get to see the other half of the 6th grade percussion students later on in the program. In addition to these students, Mr. Ryles thought it would be great to have one of our lone senior percussionists, Sarah Duvall, perform with them. She's at the end of her public school music journey, and they're at the very beginning of their musical journey. So this ensemble will be performing On Thin Air by John Wilmarth. On Thin Air was composed during the COVID-19 period of quarantine, and it depicts what the composer imagines it would be like to fly. The music evokes images of gliding, breathtaking views, and soaring high above the clouds. The composer hopes that the listener experiences a sense of freedom, hopefulness, and wonder. So at this time, please welcome to the stage the 6A Percussion Ensemble under the direction of Mr. Ryles.
Sorry about that.
Multitasking is a skill we all need in this day and age. How else can we simultaneously watch the burgers and dogs on the grill, toast the buns in the oven, slice up the fixings on the cutting board, and keep an eye on the game? There will come a time when a percussionist is required to multitask, kind of like they're doing backstage right now. In other words, to play more than one instrument at the same time. This is commonly known as multiple percussion parts or multi-percussion. Our next performance will demonstrate this concept, giving each performer a chance to perform two instruments simultaneously. Multitasker is composed by Ralph Hicks and will be performed by our 8th grade percussionist from our 8B band class. We hope that you enjoy Multitasker. Composed by N. Brisky, Continuum was written to convey a progression of continuous motion. It provides several opportunities to demonstrate musicality through extreme dynamic ranges, demanding rudimental control, and ensemble timing and blend. According to Mr. Brisky, his students inspired the title of the piece through their personal experiences and musical journeys. The intro conveys the initial excitement students have for their new instrument, which is soon followed by stress and frustration. The repetitive nature of the music evokes hours of practice and hard work, while the middle section brings to mind the importance of working as a team within an ensemble. The end of the piece is meant to showcase the confidence students gain in themselves and their musical abilities, as well as the joy of performing. Here is the BHS Percussion Ensemble performance of Continuum. The next piece on the concert will feature one of our freshman percussionists on solo xylophone. Cody Reese represented the Band of the Braves and BHS in the 910 South Georgia Region Concert Band at Valdosta State University this past weekend. He was also in our GMEA District Honor Band back in February, which we host right here at Baldwin High School. Mr. Ryles believes that Cody has the potential to make it into the GMEA All-State Band if he keeps progressing at his current rate of development. This piece he will be featured on is Chopsticks, originally written by Charles Owen in 1941. It could possibly be the most fun you'll ever have on a xylophone. It has all of the energy and antics of the legendary Nexus novelty rag with the symphonic grandioso flair of the classic composers in a traditional theme and variation setting. Charlie was known for his always focusing on the positive in life and making percussion fun. This certainly comes out in his treatment of Chopsticks, the only work in his vast library he chose to publish. After presenting the traditional Chopsticks melody, Owen masterfully weaves the timeless classic through a waltz, a rumba, a tango, a lento, an allegro, a gallop, and finally a presto. Who knew Chopsticks would fit so perfectly over Franz Liszt's Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2? This updated arrangement by Ralph Hicks features accompaniment for marimba and percussion, with an optional cadenza giving the popular piece new life for another generation of percussionists to enjoy and share with their audiences. Here's the BHS Percussion Ensemble under the direction of Mr. Ryles performing Chopsticks, featuring Cody Reese on xylophone. about a round of applause for Cody Reese one more time? A number of the accessory percussion instruments that we use today can be traced back to Cuban and African roots and are still considered to be Afro-Cuban instruments. Each instrument has a specific set of traditional rhythms or patterns that are commonly associated with them. As these instruments made their way to the Western world, Europe and the United States, Western music composers began writing for them. Often what they wrote did not have much to do with the instrument's origins. Our next piece, Clave and Sons, composed by Eric Rath, does not have any particular style associated with it. Instead of writing a piece that is strictly rumba, mambo, or salsa, it is written to allow each of the Afro-Cuban instruments to do what they do. In other words, you are experiencing the patterns and functions that are the most common to these instruments. Please welcome to the stage the Oak Hill Middle School Mixed Ensemble, consisting of 7th grade sage, and the early college 7th and 8th grade percussionists under the direction of Mr. Chris Ryles. That was a fun piece. I'm going to take a moment and talk about an opportunity that we've got and a performance for our BHS Percussion Ensemble they've been invited to participate in. Formerly known as the Lassiter Percussion Symposium, the Southeastern Percussion Symposium is a two-day event that showcases some of the best percussion ensembles in the entire state of Georgia. It is formatted similar to a Georgia Music Educators Association large group performance evaluation, where experts in the field of percussion make recorded comments based on your performance. These experts have copies of your musical scores, and after the performance, one of the experts gives the ensemble a brief clinic. The comments given along with the clinic are a great asset which help our ensembles progress to new heights and new levels. The symposium has been on hiatus for the last 2 years due to COVID. Before the lockdown, this group was prepared to make their second consecutive appearance at the symposium, but we all know that on March 17, 2020, we went home and we remained there for the remainder of the school year due to the pandemic. Mr. Ryles is very excited to be returning to the symposium and to show what his students can do. They will be performing 2 of the pieces you have already heard, Distinguished and Continuum, and a third piece you're going to hear later on tonight entitled 5 on 5. They will also perform at the symposium on Friday, April the 29th at 6:40 in the Walton Fine Arts Building. I know that they're going to do a great job, and I'm looking forward to watching them perform at the symposium for the second time in a year. The next piece of the evening is Stormbreak, composed by Jim Casella, and it was written to be sort of a sequel to another one of his famous works called Technology. Stormbreak opens with a collection of natural effect sounds, the ocean drum, cymbal timpani effects, and rain sticks. As these start to die out, the storm breaks, and a rhythmic tip of the hat to technology kicks in on the rim of the snare drum. As rhythmic elements layer in, the motive of Stormbreak becomes clear and will continue to make itself known throughout the piece. Utilizing frequent repeats in most parts, it offers a great way for intermediate players to become more comfortable with the concept of grooving in their own part while placing that groove within the mix of their fellow groove-playing comrades. This is a more challenging skill for players to latch onto, since they can often get wrapped up in reading the notes on the page just trying to play the parts correctly. Also, Stormbreak has 3 short integral solos in which we will feature Lily Wong on snare drum, Avery Sanford on concert toms, and Cody Reese on timpani. So without further ado, here's the BHS Percussion Ensemble with Stormbreak. As we like to do every year, we will feature our senior class. This has become a tradition, so much so that the underclassmen are already asking Mr. Ryles to check out this solo, or can I do this timpani solo, or can I do this solo my senior year? I think it's great that they're seeking out solos to perform. This year, we only have one senior, Miss Sarah Duvall. Sarah came to know this piece during a listening journal that Mr. Ryles assigned to the class in the fall of 2020. She made the comment she would like to play it one day. And of course, Mr. Ryles filed that away for this year's concert for her senior performance. Sarah will be performing Evelyn Glennie's A Little Prayer, which is from her book, Three Chorales for Marimba. This is a staple in the solo marimba literature repertoire. Before we hear Sarah's performance, a few words from Mr. Ryles, and I quote, "Sarah, thank you for sticking with me and the program for the past 5 years that I've had the pleasure to be the director of percussion. We've had some great musical experiences together, and you've come such a long way as a musician and a percussionist. I'm very proud of you, and if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to ask. I hope that you keep playing and performing, and I can't wait to see where you will end up," end quote. Here is our senior percussionist, Sarah Duvall, performing A Little Prayer. How about a round of applause for Miss Sarah Duvall one more time? Our last middle school performance of the evening will be the percussion students from our 6B band class. As with the 6A band class, our 6B percussion ensemble also has two 7th grade SAGE students, and we've asked our senior, Sarah Duvall, to perform with this group as well. Again, the idea that she's at the end of her time with us is bittersweet, but these 6th graders are just starting their journey with us, and we're excited to see how far they can go. They will be performing John Hernan's Begin Transmission. Begin Transmission is intended to be an exciting first adventure into the world of percussion ensemble music for groups with approximately 1 year of experience. It provides opportunities for students to apply skills and concepts which they have been developing by working out of a method book in a percussion ensemble setting. We hope you enjoy Begin Transmission. Our next to last piece of the evening is 5 on 5, composed by Stephen Primatic. 5-on-5 is meant to be played on a one 5-octave marimba. There we go. With 5 players sharing the instrument. A bit of maneuvering is necessary to allow players to reach all necessary notes. This is a fun and exciting piece that I'm sure you're going to enjoy. These students recently performed this piece for the first annual Braves Got Talent, where they took second place back in March. Along with Continuum and Disguised, the BHS Percussion Ensemble will be performing this piece 5-on-5 at the Southeastern Percussion Symposium that I previously spoke about earlier this evening. They're going to do a fantastic job representing the band program, the school system, and the community participating in the symposium. I know both myself and Mr. Ryles are looking forward to their performance at this year's symposium. So, here is Avery, Lily, Cody, Sarah, and Delia performing 5-on-5. Before our final piece of the evening, we would like to thank a few people. Superintendent Dr. Norris Price, Fine Arts Coordinator Mr. Jay Wucher for all of their support. I can tell you that the fine arts are fully supported in our school system, and it is due to their leadership and dedication to the arts and to these students. We'd also like to thank our principals, Mr. Jason Flanders and Mr. Damon Ray, and their administrative teams at both Baldwin High School and Oak Hill Middle School. We also would like to thank our band boosters for their dedication and support to these students and the program. And of course, we want to thank you, the parents, for allowing your child to be a part of our programs. Finally, we would like to thank the audience for being here tonight and giving us the opportunity to make music for you. The last piece, entitled Ether, is composed by Francisco Perez. Historically ranging from classical lore to science fiction, the ether has been commonly drawn up entity throughout time. According to Sir Isaac Newton, the ether was a medium which permeated all of space and enabled both light and energy to traverse it. In ether, this concept is established from the opening moments of the work. Out of the constant shimmers, sonorities emerge and evolve before finally returning to its original state. And let me also point out that at the conclusion of the concert, we'd like to have all the students come up on stage. We'd like to get a picture. It'd be a great moment for all the parents to get a picture of all the percussion students. So without further ado, for the final time of this evening, Mr. Ryles and the BHS Percussion Ensemble. Check. How about a round of applause for all these students? How about a round of applause for our Director of Percussion, Mr. Chris Ryles? So parents, while we attempt to get all these students on stage, please come up a little bit, get yourself a good picture, but this right here is a lot of percussion students, and we're ready to get even more percussion students. Yeah, get all types, get all types, get all types. You're gonna need to get down on the ground. Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to get it from up here. You may have to go to the middle. Everybody get ready to smile for a long time. Here we go, everybody smile. Look at all the cameras. We're gonna do this for 10 minutes solid. Rachel, you got everybody? You sure? Last call. All right, and break. Round of applause one more time. All right, if you'll just, parents, hang tight. We're going to get a lot of this equipment back to where it needs to go. Again, thank you for coming out tonight. You're a high school wind player. I got my clipboard up here. Just sign somewhere on the program. Hey, get off the steps. Get off the steps. There you go. Hey, brother.